Hello, hello. I'm Sorek. This is Sorek Kazemi. So, I am a queer South Asian relationship anarchist, non-monogamous, And so, I'm of the opinion that tarot readings, especially love tarot readings, could stand to be a little bit less heteronormative, cis-normative, mononormative, and amononormative. So, although I'm sort of like, I guess this is going to be a relationship reading, and I'm doing just like one message collective reading. So this won't apply to everyone, but I am hoping to do it in a way that kind of like can flex for like, it doesn't have to be romantic. I will offer both romantic and platonic and whatever kind of like interpretations for this relationship reading. And so, because I'm only doing one group, we're going to start with an energy check so you can sort of get the vibe of like, is this kind of like sounding like your situation? Is this sounding like where you're at? Does this sound like I'm going to probably focus on like, I don't know if I'm going to focus on one connection or like many, because, like, again, I want to make this poly friendly. But, like, obviously, you know, you don't have to be queer or poly or anything to watch this. You can be straight and cis if you want. But yeah. So anyway, I'm just gonna how about this? This is like very experimental. This is new for me, and so I'm not gonna ramble on too much. Let's just get started with the energy check and see what happens. We're trying something out for Venus in Virgo with the South Node. It's funny because I am in a Venus ruled profection year, which is profection years are an astrological timing technique that I really love using. And so Venus is basically like the main planet driving my ship until my next birthday. And yeah, just Venus entering Virgo right now and like talking with the South Node, I have been feeling interesting. That's all I will say. Which I guess doing a relationship tarot with the with this new-ish to me format. I guess it's not new. I've done a reading like this before, I think. Whatever. Catch me cutting out half of this rambling. Or not. I don't know. Alright, anyway. Let's see. For the collective that I am reading for today, let's get clear, direct, helpful messages, please. What is the situation that this collective finds themselves in? I'm actually gonna... I think I'm actually going to start with some oracle. Yeah. Alright, so let's start with, this is the self-care oracle deck. I don't remember who it's by, but I will put links to all of the decks that I'm using today in the description below. And oh yeah, and if you want to book a personal reading with me, I offer tarot and astrology readings, and I will also have a link to that in the description. So you can check out my website, check out my readings. They are sliding scale, and they're real good. So if you want one, you can have one. But otherwise, let's just get your messages for today. All right. Let's get a self-care oracle card, please. Nourish your temple. I hope this is focusing. I'm trying out a different camera today than I usually do. So, yeah. Okay, and then let's get a Moonology card. What is the collective I'm reading for today? Give me a good Moonology card for them. Thank you. A fiery climax approaches. Ooh la la. I wonder what kind of climax. The narrative kind or the physical kind? Who can say? I mean, I guess you can say. You'll know whether you're into that or not. Okay, and then I'm using the Romance Angels Oracle. But I will, as I said, be offering an interpretation of it that doesn't have to be solely romantic. I don't know. I really wanted to use all of these lovey decks that I have because they're kind of fun to play with, you know? It's fun to see what comes out. Alright, let's get a Romance Angel card for this, please. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay. And then we're also doing the Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards, which this is one of my least used decks, even though I've had it for quite a while. Like, as long as these other decks, but it's just, I use it less. And so I think that's also why I've decided to pull these out, because, like, these are all decks that I have, but they usually stay in the drawer. So, like, I should break these out and play with them. That's what we're doing today. We're playing around and seeing what happens. Okay, we have boat. Receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure issues. Okay? And then I'm also going to roll y'all some Astro Dice. Headphones warning. I'm going to try and make this quiet, but if you hear any clacking, I hope you don't. I'm going to roll them onto a soft surface, though. So. Oh, okay, perfect. We have Venus. In Aries. Oh, you have, this card is also full moon in Aries, and you also have Venus in Aries. Interesting. Okay. And you have the first house. Okay. So, let me think. Nourish your temple, number 38. A fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And boat, receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure issues. So to me, this feels like you have been spending a lot of time working on yourself when it comes to sort of what you need in a relational sense. Like maybe you have been pulling back from friendships, pulling back from romance, pulling back from your social life a little bit, and spending more of your energy focusing on yourself. With Nourish Your Temple, maybe you've been doing things that feel good for your body, especially because we have Venus and Aries in the first house. The first house in astrology it's all about you, yourself, your body, your health, your personality, your persona, your identity, you know? So maybe you have been in a period of time where you've been like re-centering on your identity and kind of trying to figure out which parts of yourself feel nourishing to you, which parts of the identities you identify with, the relationships you tend to, the things that you put energy into, especially with the double Aries here. Where are you putting your energy into, and is it satisfying you? With Make the Effort, maybe you've been re-evaluating past relationships or friendships or social groups that you belong to and sort of trying to determine like, have you been putting the effort that you would like into those connections, and are other people putting in enough effort for you to be satisfied? Because you also have about receiving what you need. Receiving what you need with Make the Effort makes me feel like this period of you going inward and focusing on yourself has been for you to reevaluate if the connections that you've been putting energy and effort into have really been the correct ones for you. Maybe you have walked away from connections where, people weren't putting in the effort that you would like, or where you realized that you weren't willing to put in the effort to have the kind of connection that the other person wanted. And this period of time, I think it's probably been good and important, even though Venus in Aries is like, Venus is considered a watery planet by some reckonings. Like, particularly, I'm thinking of like the Vedic perspective on Venus, where Venus is considered to be of a watery nature. And so Venus in fire signs kind of like clashes with that symbolism a little bit, right? Fire and water. You have this push and pull between two different types of passion. One is a much more self-directed and extroverted kind of passion, and the other is a much more like inward going and receptive and connective sort of passion. With Great Love is Worth Taking the Steps you're guided to take, as well as progression and arriving and moving on. Maybe you're moving past these old ways of relating, and you have been taking time to really make sure that whatever steps you're going to take towards connections in the future are going to be more fulfilling to you. Maybe you're ready to move on to a different kind of relational structure, even, Or maybe you have realized that the way you've been doing relationships in the past has just not been your cup of tea, and you need something to change. And so maybe you have decided for yourself that you are going to do something different. Also, I kind of want to, can I tilt this down so that, no, not really. I just kind of wanted the symbols to be more visible. So with progression arriving, moving on, and also a fiery climax approaches full moon in Aries. This makes me feel like you are ready to move into a new type of thing. So because we have two Aries things here, like you might be in Aries, you might be involved with other connections where someone is an Aries. Someone could have Venus in Aries, someone could have Venus in the first house, or someone could be an Aries rising, because Aries in the first house. And I'm also feeling called to say that someone could have Venus in Scorpio or Venus in a Mars ruled sign. I don't know, I just felt called to say that. So I said it. So, okay. This is sort of the energy check of if this is the energy you've been in, then let's pull some tarot for you. I'm going to be using the Unicorn Tarot. Let's pull some tarot for you and see what's happening for you in love. What's coming your way, you know? What message do we have for you about relationships slash love slash friendships slash socializing? Please, oh please, give me good, clear, direct information for this collective that I'm channeling for. Ooh, okay. We have the Chariot. We have the King of Cups. We have the Star. Okay. And we have the Emperor. Oh, geez. Another, that's more Aries. All right, so there could definitely be an Aries involved here. At least one. Because we've got Aries, Aries, Aries. That's wild. Okay, we also have the Chariot is Cancer, card number 7. The Star is Aquarius, card number 17. The Emperor is Aries, card number 4. And the King of Cups is water signs. Ooh, but the kings are the fire of the court cards, and cups is water, so it's like fire of water, like I was saying with Venus and Aries. So we've got a lot of this push-pull between fiery energy and watery energy. So there could definitely be like, maybe you're dealing with an opposites attract kind of situation. And maybe that's why you kind of had to pull back and really think about if you're willing to make the effort to make this work. Because you're in a situation where you are trying to make a connection work with someone who might be very different from you in some way. Maybe you guys have different sort of like ideas of what you want from a relational structure or what you want out of a friendship. Maybe one of you was more like keen to move things faster than the others, because Venus and Aries, and also Aries in general, Aries likes to move fast, you know? Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is a Mars-ruled cardinal fire sign, and what cardinal signs like to do is initiate, and what Mars likes to do is take action. So Aries energy is very much about getting things started, you know? Aries wants to just do the thing right now. Maybe with a fiery climax here, maybe you tried to make a step, or maybe you or the other person tried to make a move too soon. Like maybe things were escalating a little too quickly, and that's why you felt the need to pull back. Which is interesting because we also have the Chariot here, and the way I'm kind of reading the tarot cards is when I pull 4 cards like this, I usually kind of like read them as a progression of like more towards the past and more towards the future sort of thing, right? So here, if we're talking about like where you're coming from sort of energy, we have the Chariot. And the Chariot, the Cancer card, is a card about going. The Chariot is a card about speed, you know? Like chariots are, generally speaking, kind of like a war machine, you know? People are on them in the midst of battle. You don't ride a chariot for fun, generally speaking. So, yeah, maybe this is like talking about a connection that you were in where things either got too fast, too quick, or it's like a situation where with the Cancer energy, yeah, maybe someone wanted to get close faster than the other person was ready for. Like either you wanted to be close to the other person and they were not ready to be that close yet, or vice versa, you know? The other person wanted to be like closer to you than you were ready for. And so with the King of Cups here, the vibe of the King of Cups is like deep, deep emotions, right? The King of Cups is a feeler, but you can see the King of Cups is not in the water, but is instead uh, on a throne that is like on a platform on top of the water. And so the kings are people who have mastered the suit that they're the king of. So in this case, cups, the watery realm, which is all about social connection, friendships, relationships, love, harmony, creativity, those sort of just the entire feeling realm of life. And the King of Cups has really deep emotions, you know? They feel very deeply, but because they're a king and they have this contrasting fieriness by virtue of being a king, what it means is that they have developed an architecture around their emotions so that their emotions are contained, you know? Even if they might feel something very deeply, the king is not going to show this energy so quickly and so soon. Because that's the thing with kings. It's like queens have mastered the emotion and are like expert at using it for themselves. Kings are taking what they've learned about the emotions and building like an emotional structure for themselves and for other people, or like in the relationships they share with other people. And so I'm feeling like, again, yeah, maybe, I don't know if this is talking about you or the other person, but someone here probably had deeper feelings than they were ready to admit, you know? Or maybe they just, yeah, had feelings that they weren't willing to share yet. Whatever those thoughts and feelings might be. Could be romantic, could be about wanting to be friends better, could be about wanting to like ask to build something together emotionally, to build an emotional structure together, to add more structure to the relationship. Yeah. Yeah. That's the vibe I'm getting from the King of Cups and the Chariot. Okay. Then moving forward closer to the future, we've got next the star card. So with the star card, this is interesting because the star is literally like, you can see this unicorn has water pouring into the lake here, as well as water pouring onto the ground, and then also one hoof in the water. And what this traditionally represents in the star card is the uniting of the past and the present, or the past and the future, right? And so the star is about hope. It's about faith. It's about a renewal in like the belief that beauty and faith and good things in life are possible and are coming. Because the card right before the star is card number 16, the Tower. That's the card of Mars. That's your foundations are shaken. Things are all awash for you. Something disastrous has happened, and you have, or something like psychologically like shocking has happened. You know, like either way, like something was built on an unsteady foundation and it was knocked down. And maybe that's to do with the Aries energy here as well, because Aries is ruled by Mars. But then you don't have the Tower here, you have the star. So you're moving past this previous energy that you were in and moving towards a future energy that feels more hopeful, lighthearted, pretty, sparkling. Maybe you're getting more in touch with like your connection to the universe. Maybe you're getting back into a more like spiritual or creative or artistic or optimistic point of view. Maybe you've been doing work on past issues and using those changes as you've been nourishing your temple, as you've been thinking about what is worth the effort for you, and as you've been progressing and moving on, as you've been deciding what you need and what you would like to receive, maybe you're in this sort of energy where you are ready to open back up and like try again, either in like connections that you're already in or new connections that you're seeking that are more aligned with what you want and what you need. So I like the star card for you there. It's like, it's optimism, you know? It's things looking up, it's moving forward. It's pretty, it's lighthearted, but not completely lighthearted, because it's like, it's an Aquarius card, right? And Aquarius is a Saturn ruled sign. And so this is also about, and it's talking about the past and like either the present or the future. So there is an element of like, the thing that you want is not a guarantee. It's not something that's right in front of you quite yet, but you see that it is possible and you feel confidence that you can make the effort and maybe other people can make the effort. Because then we have bringing in this Emperor energy in the most future position, reflecting this Venus and Aries in the first house, and a fiery climax approaches. So first of all, I have to put out a timing notice. Full moon in Aries will be happening later this year in probably like late September to early October, which is when Libra season is, because Libra season is when full moon in Aries can happen. So maybe the full moon in Aries that's coming up might be significant for you in terms of relationship timing. So just keep an eye out for late September to the first 3 weeks-ish of October. Significant events might occur around then. But what I'm seeing with the Emperor energy is like confidence, you know? The King of Cups is like got this structured like mastery of emotions, but the Emperor is like what happens when you take all four of the kings and combine them. So the Emperor's got this like mastery of all four suits, and you can see this throne is like in the backdrop with a desert. So the Emperor has wisdom and experience to create a strong foundation and a strong structure, even in a barren environment. You know, they are skilled, they are skillful. An emperor has treasures that they have acquired through past experiences, through endeavors that they have undertaken, and maybe through endeavors that didn't go so hot, or maybe that did. But either way, you could be in this Emperor energy, especially with Venus and Aries in the first house, because the first house is about you. But you could also be seeking out other people who are in this Emperor energy, or if you're already, like, if this is about a connection that you're already in, the other people or other person involved could be in this Emperor energy or coming to this Emperor energy, you know? They could be building themselves up to a position where they can achieve the things that they want and also take care of the needs of the people and things that they're responsible to. So this is very much, this is make the effort energy. Like the Emperor will be making the effort. That is in their nature, is to make the effort. The Emperor is going to focus on giving what they need, and the Emperor is also going to make sure that they get what they need, you know? They have that ability. They have made all of these structured steps in the past, and it's going to pay off fruitfully in the future. So, yeah. Okay. So basically, the summary of the themes here, moving from a period of inward, self-focused, retrospective, or introspective, I should say, energy, maybe moving from maybe moving away from like a thing that escalated too fast, or a thing that just wasn't quite aligned with what your inner emotions wanted, and moving towards something that is going to give you what you need. Okay. I want to pull some more oracle cards. Let me get, this is sort of like the oracle cards for where you're coming from. So now let's get some oracle cards for where you're going. Okay. Let's get one from the self-care oracle. We have aromatherapy. So let me pull them all first, and then I will start talking about them. We have new moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. Okay, one from the romance angels. express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And then one from the Island Time Wellness deck. And we have Hand of Cards. Take a chance, risk, being strategic, options, not showing hand, gambling. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, okay. Let's start with, I'm going to start with these two because, okay, so we have new moon in Virgo. So again, for timing, new moon in Virgo will be happening either in like the last week of August to the first 3 weeks of September. So this, between this and this, we have the time period of like the last week of August to the third week of October-ish. So September and October excuse me. So September and October basically could be important time periods for you here. Oh, and also I have to mention, we're going to be having a Venus retrograde in Scorpio and Libra around that time. So the Venus retrograde, you also have Venus here. Oh, and that's interesting. Remember earlier I was saying Venus in a Mars ruled sign. Venus, the other Mars ruled sign is Scorpio, and Venus is going to be going retrograde in Scorpio and Libra. So during Libra season, when the sun is in Libra, is when full moon in Aries can happen. Okay, so that's cool. But yeah. Okay, so the new moon in Virgo that's coming up could be important for you. You or someone else could have Virgo placements also. And so, with a time to give rather than take and express your love, go ahead and make the romantic gesture, as well as take a chance, risk. So, all three of these are giving me the vibe of encouraging you to take action here, which I guess makes sense with this first house energy. So, yeah, this is definitely like, this is a cardinal sign, this is a cardinal sign, and like I mentioned earlier, cardinal signs love initiating. So there is an encouragement here for you to take action towards the kinds of connection that you want. This is giving me the vibe of like encouraging you, like if you want a change in a certain relationship, or if you want a certain type of relationship, this is encouraging you to go out and seek it, rather than waiting for someone else to come towards you, you know? Like this is like, it's your turn to make a move kind of thing. It's your turn to play a hand, so to speak. And would take a chance and risk and make the effort and express your love. Yeah, a time to give rather than take. So this is earthy energy, and then aromatherapy also feels very earthy. I think of Taurus and Scorpio because they're both in medical astrology associated with the nose. So aromatherapy makes me think of that kind of earthy energy. But maybe it's like encouraging you to go somewhere that enlivens your senses. So maybe going to a place where there's flowers, like going to a garden, going to a rose garden, going to a Japanese garden, whatever you have near you, going to a park even. Or encouraging you to, I don't know, try using incense or bringing flowers into your space. Or if you're in connection with these three, maybe it's like suggesting if you want to, say, for example, arrange a hangout with someone or like arrange a date with someone, maybe making the effort to like make sure that it smells nice, if if the person is into fragrances and stuff like that, if they're chill with fragrances, like just like setting the mood is the vibe that I'm getting with this, putting in the effort to strategically express your feelings or express your desires or seek what you want in a connection. Yeah. And like, with aromatherapy being the vibe, like choose scents based on the mood you want to create, right? Like very basic concepts like citrus is like energizing, lavender is relaxing, rose might be kind of romantic, mint might be refreshing. So think about that. And you can also bring other senses into it, obviously. Like you could bring in like different colors into the environment, or different sounds, or different lighting, colors of lighting, or different tastes even. Like if you're like, eating food, maybe like bringing in like different kinds of snacks than you usually do, or a different kind of cuisine than you usually go for, could be something that you could put effort into to make this, whatever this move that you want to make socially, romantically, or platonically, to make it more the vibe that you want to cultivate. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think I think that's all the message that I have for you today. Let's just get one last card to wrap everything up. I'm going to be pulling from the Inner Child Oracle by, I believe, Amanda Lynn Ashling. And so let's get an Inner Child Oracle advice to cap this all off. What's the advice for this collective, please? What is the advice for this collective? Okay, we have find your haven. You are in need of a hideaway, a little piece of magic that is just for you. Remember what it felt like to find a hidden place, one that hummed with its own special kind of energy. Begin to think about where you might connect with this energy as an adult, what it might feel and look like now. Take steps today to find or create this place. Mushrooms and a butterfly. So mushrooms might be significant, whether it's the normal kind or the fun kind. Butterflies might be significant, so vibes of transformation. But also, like, look at this like little enchanted like path between the trees. So the advice to wrap all of this up is just so this is saying you're in need of a hideaway, but I feel like that's not quite the energy of your reading, because it feels like you've been in your hideaway, right? You've already been in this sacred, magical sort of space where you've been coming back to yourself and sort of getting in touch with what it is that you desire. Now it feels like the energy is a time to give, to take a chance, and to invite someone else into this safe haven. Especially with the Chariot, the Cancer card. Cancer is very like Cancer loves a container. It loves a nice, safe, like its symbol is the crab, you know? And crabs, they're soft, but they have a shell to protect them. And so this is giving me the energy of taking a risk and inviting someone into something that is safe or something that is special or something that is like a container that you don't share with everyone, you know? So maybe there's someone that you've been in a connection with already, that you're already in a relationship or a friendship or whatever with, and you are thinking of taking a risk and sharing something a little vulnerable with them, something that feels a little magical to you, like a special, maybe it's a special spot that you like to hang out with, sorry, a special spot that you like to hang out at, or like a particular album that you really love, or a movie that's very important to you, or a TV show that like you just really want to share with them. There's some sort of thing that you can take this risk and share with them. Set up the environment, create a space, invite them in, and just see what happens, you know? Nothing is ever guaranteed, obviously, to work, but the hope that the star card promises is that the future can be bright and big and beautiful. You know, you have the strength and the wisdom to take this risk, and it might just pay off. Take all of this Aries energy. Take all of this Aries energy and go forth. Take a risk. Gamble. But like only gamble, but like only as much as is reasonable. Because the Emperor, you know, part of being the Emperor, you've got good risk assessment skills. But yeah, so that is the message that I have for you today. I hope that was helpful. This has been very interesting. I enjoyed the process. Let me know if you enjoyed this reading too. You can leave a like on the video. You can subscribe to my channel. It's free, and you'll be informed when I post more videos. You can leave a comment and let me know what you thought of it, or if this like really like hit something for you, you know? And yeah, other than that, thanks so much for letting me read for you, and take care. Have a good time. Bye-bye. Hope to see you in another video. All right. Peace.